Welcome to this Schoology tutorial video. We will be using Schoology this year for blended and online instruction. This is an introduction to the basic functions and layout of Schoology. This will help you guys out a little, maybe ease any anxiety that you may have about learning something new. But don't worry, we are fast learners and we have experience with Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, Edmodo, and others. So Schoology will fall right in line with those, and I'm confident that we will be successful. So first thing, before you can participate in any activities that we're going to be doing in this video, you will need to locate your Schoology login credentials. So those should be emailed to you in your school email. So go ahead and locate those and get logged into Schoology, and then you can get started. So let's go. So just a suggestion, but it always helps me to learn something new if I actually participate in it and actually do it rather than just listening. So if you have your Schoology login, it would be a good idea to go ahead and log into your Schoology and split the screen so that you could have your Schoology account on half of your screen, and then you could watch my video on the other half. And you can pause as needed and follow along, and that just would help you learn a little bit better. But if you do not have your login yet, feel free to just watch the video and then you can practice once you get your login. The first thing I'm going to go over is some navigation in Schoology. Once you get logged in, it will bring you to your dashboard. This is my dashboard. It shows all the courses that I am enrolled in. If it has this little star badge here, that means I'm the admin of that course. Here you'll see the Jasper City Schools logo. This is your home button. If you ever get in to Schoology and you're clicking around exploring what's here and you can't figure out how to get back and you get lost, all you have to do is click this home button and it will take you back to your course dashboard. Over here you will see your name with your profile picture. You can click on your name here. You can make changes to your profile here. Click your profile. If you want to edit your information that may be blank the first time you log in, you click the edit button on the top right hand corner. You can enter any information that you would like about yourself here, your subjects, your position, even a short biography. And once you're pleased with that, then you save your changes and exit out. Here's your profile picture. It may be just generic right now, but if you hover over your profile picture, you'll see the edit picture option here. Let's click that. Here you can choose a different profile picture by choosing any of these graphics that Schoology has already supplied for you. Or if you have a great picture of yourself that you would like to use and it's on your computer, you can click here and attach that file. And it'll change your profile picture. So let's go back out to our home page, our dashboard. Across the top of the screen, you'll always have this static toolbar. It'll always stay the same. Here you have the link to your courses and groups and resources. We're going to go over those and tell you what the difference in courses and groups are. That's the big thing in Schoology. Your search button, some apps that you can add as resources, a calendar, and your calendar can be synced with your Google Calendar or your Microsoft Calendar if you want to. And then here is a great tool. This is your private message tool. It's a communication tool. We'll go over that as well. And your notifications, and like I said, your profile information. On the right hand side over here are your reminders, upcoming events, If anything's scheduled in any of your courses, they will show up here, which is great to keep on track of things that you need to do. Great for the students as well. Over here, if you assign an activity or quiz to your students will see all this as well. This is basically the same view that your students will have. So what you see is pretty much what your student sees, which is great. So if you've assigned something and it has an overdue due date, it'll show up here at the top of their feed, their reminders, and they'll be able to see that first thing when they log in. So they will have this as well. Right here we have a recent activity tab. So we've got this is our course dashboard, and this is recent activity. So any discussions that you've participated in, any new posts from any of your groups, that'll all show up here in sequential order. The students have this as available to them as well. So next we'll move on to communication tools that we have available through Schoology to us, because we know that communication is key. If we have to go to online learning or blended learning, we have to have that communication. The best tool that Schoology offers for communicating privately between instructor and student is this private message option right here. So it's like a private email account, but it's only within Schoology. It doesn't go outside of it, so you can only message people in Schoology. So if you click here, we're going to create a new message, and you can type the name of your students, you can type the name of a teacher, and then you type your message, and you can send it. Some other great tools on the bottom of this message box. You can attach files from your computer or links. Anything from your resources tab. If you want to send something to someone, a teacher, you can send it here. Also, maybe if you have an assignment that requires an audio recording or something, there's that tool that's an option here that you can record audio or video and send it privately. Especially maybe if you have something to say that you want the students to hear the tone of your voice, and to really get your message across. Or this is also great for those really young students that may not have the skills yet to really type out a full message. So those are some of the communication tools available within the private message option. Also, you have this bell here. These are your notifications. So if you have a new notification, it'll show up a little red circle here with a 1 or a 2, however many notifications you have that you have not read yet, and they automatically show up. So if you have assigned something to students and they start completing their assignments, every time a student completes an assignment, it'll show up here as a notification. You can click that. I don't have any new notifications. These are all old, but they'll show up like this when you get notifications. Also, if you have new messages or new notifications, a red dot will show up in the corner with the number of new notifications that you have. So that helps you to visually see that you have new communication that you have not read yet. So courses and groups. That's what some people can get confused about in Schoology. What is the difference in courses and groups? Well, courses is where you will go to find your student rosters. This is where you will go to create materials. This is where your instructional class will be. Courses is where you will assign due dates to assignments. It's anything that you assign a due date to will automatically be added to your calendar in Schoology. Courses is where you collect and score student work. So courses is where you will probably spend your majority of time when you're in Schoology. Groups. Groups is more for collaboration and communication. So groups would be a great place to create a group for teachers, for maybe your department or your grade level. Maybe if someone's teaching the same class that you are, you can create a group with them and you can share resources. You can chat. Groups is for communication and collaboration. Maybe you could create a group for a student organization. You're a club sponsor. All the students this year will have Schoology accounts. So this would be a great this would be a great way to keep all of their communication in one place. The big difference in groups and courses, in groups, you cannot collect or score student work in groups. So let's go to a course that I have created. So I created this course, this sandbox course, for us to play around in so that we won't mess anything up. So I'm going to click in my sandbox course. And this is what I see. And this is what the student will see when they log into my class. So keep in mind, the first time that you create a course, or if you open a course that's been created that your roster is in, it will be blank. So anything that is on here is you have to create it. So keep that in mind. Don't let it scare you. I'll show you how to do it, and once you get it created, the first time you'll have it, you can keep it in your resources and you'll have it to use again and again. So this is my course. This is just my sandbox course, the one that I've played around in. I would like to invite you to join my sandbox course, and you can do that with this access code here. And I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But I'd like to invite you to join it so that you can explore, click around in my course, see how things work without being afraid of messing anything up. You can just play around in the sandbox course. You can participate in discussion and check out a sample course assessment. So if you've created a course, hopefully that if it's one of your classes, it'll already be created for you. But if you create a course, an extracurricular, or a group that you want students or parents or teachers to join, and they're not enrolled automatically, then this is how they will join, with this access code here. And let me show you how to instruct students or parents and teachers how to join. So you give them this code. You go up to courses. You go all the way over here to the right to my courses. And here is where you join a course or you create a course. So if you would like to join my sandbox course here, you just click join course, and then this is where you will type the access code, and then you click join. And then you will be a member of my sandbox course. So if you'd like to do that, please go ahead and do that so that you can participate in any discussions or activities and play around in my sandbox course to see how it works, and you will not mess anything up. So let's go back out to my homepage. Go to my sandbox course. So this is where I'll be showing you some of the tools. Like I said, this is the teacher view. It's almost exactly the same as the student view, except they won't have these little gears over here that allow you to edit things. And they won't have some of these little tools over here, but they can see their grades, they can see members of the class. And over here on the right-hand side is where they will have their upcoming events or overdue events. So it's basically going to be the same view. So what you see here is what the student will see. So in your class, in your course, like I said, if it's brand new, this will be blank. But this Add Materials button is where we will add content to your course. So let's click on Add Material, drop down. These are all the different things you can add. You can add folders, assignments, quizzes and tests, links, files you've already created. You can create discussions so that that students can have a class discussion. You can create a page, you can import resources, and you can find resources. This is where you go to add materials to your course. This left-hand side is your navigation menu. This is where your students will be. Your student roster will be, this members tab. So once school gets in full swing, when all this gets rolled into, when all of our Chalkable information gets and courses get created and rolled into Schoology, then you'll have a course here. It will be blank, but you will have your roster here. So if you click members, it'll show up any of your students' names here, and your name will be here. And like I said earlier, anybody who has a badge beside their name is an admin to that course. And this is a great opportunity, like if you want to add, create or allow someone else to be an admin in your course, maybe a special education teacher or another teacher that you teach the same course, you can go in and you can create them as an admin as well. So you would do that under this setting right here. So maybe if you want to add a special education teacher as an admin to your course, maybe they can go in and look at some of the quizzes or tests that you've created and help you to modify those for certain students. But this is where your members will be. Your student roster will be under members. You are the organizer of your course. Let me go back to my course, my home page, what the students see when they first get here. The big thing to remember, you organize your course. You have to keep it organized and laid out so that there's no confusion for your students. So think about how you want to create it. If you want to put up daily assignments, weekly assignments, full units, that's all up to you, but you need to stay uniform however you do it so that you remove confusion from your students so that they always know what to expect. One thing that I've done is I've created a page here, and it'll be the first thing that the student sees when they click on my class. This can always stay the same. It can stay static, or you can change it every week or every day, depending on how much online instruction we'll be doing. But I think it's a great idea to have a static page here created with a note or a message for the students to see so that they will know what to do when they log in. So folder structure is important. You can create folders. You can name them. I would always keep the naming uniform. If you're going to do them by unit and date, always keep a unit and date. Or if you're going to say this week, always keep it the same. I like having this introduction to course folder here. Keep it toward the top so that you can keep maybe a course syllabus in there or anything that the students will need throughout the entire course. Maybe a link to a textbook or links to certain things that you know that they are going to have to use frequently. It would be a good idea to create an introduction to your course and keep all those things there for them for the duration of the course. So whatever you do, just make sure that you keep it uniform, and it's very important to stay organized for yourself and for the student. Otherwise, you're just going to be creating things, assignments or folders, and they can get lost because this page can go on forever. So if you don't create a folder structure, then it will just be like a Facebook news feed where you can just scroll and scroll and scroll forever, and things can get lost in the mess. So just keep in mind that you really need to stay organized and have a uniform folder structure. And keep in mind that your new course will be blank and that you will have to create it yourself. And that is done here under Add Materials. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to practice. Before we jump right into creating a course or practicing in a course, some of you may have concerns about all of the materials, instructional materials, and things that you created during the last 9 weeks of school when we had online instruction. Some of you were using Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, and you would like to still use some of those things that you've already created. Well, this is good news for you because you can import those things that you've already created in Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom into Schoology. You can link your accounts. So this is going to be a necessity. You're going to need to do this. So let me show you how to do it. This is how you link or attach your private Google account and your OneDrive account. So you click on the Resources tab at the top. You can follow along with me. You can pause the video if you need to and go ahead and follow along with me and attach it on your Schoology account. So click on Resources and then go all the way over here on the left and click on Apps. I have already added my OneDrive and my Google Drive and YouTube. You may not have this here yet, or you may have it already, not sure what has been automatically rolled into Schoology, but this is where you will attach your Google Drive account and your OneDrive account. If they're not here, if they are here, then good. If they're not, then you click on Install Apps and agree, and they will be listed here. OneDrive will be listed here, Google Drive will be listed here. What you will do is you will check whatever you want to be added to your Schoology, and then you'll click Install. I don't want to install these, so let me uncheck them. You may have materials in your Dropbox that you want to attach to your Schoology account as well. So there are some other apps, resource apps that can be added here for our district. So we'll be adding those as they become available. But for now, you definitely want to attach your OneDrive and your Google Drive accounts, and even YouTube if you use YouTube videos for instruction. You want to check those and you'll click Install. And then once you've added those, then they will show up here under your resources and apps. And if I click on it, OneDrive, then this is my OneDrive account, my school OneDrive account. It goes on and on and on. So keep in mind, anything that you do here. So you click on your banner pictures that you've added to the website, and if you say, I don't want these on my Schoology, if you click them and delete them here, then they are deleted from your OneDrive account. So don't delete things here that you don't want to permanently delete, because if you delete it here, it's deleted from your OneDrive. Or if you delete it from your Google, then it's deleted from your OneDrive. So I haven't connected my Google yet. So I'd click here and I would sign in and connect here. I'm not going to do that right now because it might take a minute, but that's how you will attach your OneDrive and your Google Drive so that you can import all those great teaching materials that you already created during online instruction the last 9 weeks of last school year. You can attach those easily to your Schoology assignments, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So make sure that you go in and you attach your OneDrive and your Google Drive accounts. And remember, you do that under Resources tab and Apps, and then you'll install the apps here. At this point, I would like you to go back out to Courses, and if you joined my Sandbox course with that code I gave you earlier, I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video and take a few minutes to click around in my course, check out the folders, check out the discussion over here on your upcoming events, and check out the quiz or assessment sampler that was created, and just get a kind of an idea of what Schoology will look like. And you can't mess anything up, and I would love for you to participate in the discussion over here. So go ahead and introduce yourself and reply to others, and it'll show up on the discussion in the feed, and everyone can see it and reply to it. So go ahead and pause this video and take some time to go into my Sandbox, and here's the join code again if you didn't do it earlier. Go into my Sandbox course and just click around and play around. So now that you've had time to familiarize yourself with Schoology and the navigation and some of the functions available, it's a good time to create our own course, a practice course, a Sandbox course. So make sure that you have your computer screen split so that you can watch my video on one side and have your Schoology account open on another side so that you can participate as well as watch. So go to your Schoology account and click on Courses. Go over here to the far right to My Courses, and you're going to click on Create Course. So this is where you can name your course. You can put a course code if you want. That's not necessary. Only the things with an asterisk are the things that you have to have. Add a subject. Remember, this is just our practice course, and it can be deleted later, but this is just to practice with. Fill out everything that you would like to fill out for the informational part of your course. And whenever you create a course, you have to add a term to it. And school hasn't started yet, so fortunately for us, we can go all the way to the bottom here and click on the Sandbox term. So this will just be a practice session for us. So let's do that. We want to be our admin, and we're going to create our course. So when you come into your course, it will be blank. It will look like this. So we talked about earlier that your course will be blank, and you have to add everything here under the Add Materials button. So my first Sandbox course was blank like this when I first started. Let's go back, or I'm going to go back to my Sandbox course that I already created earlier to just show you around a little bit, but you stay in your course that you created. So go back to my courses and my Sandbox course. So mine was blank, just like yours, and then I started adding materials and it looked like this. So this is what you will do when when we get our real classes and your real courses and not just our sandbox courses. It'll be the exact same. You'll be practicing in your sandbox course so that you know what to do, and you'll be more comfortable when you start creating and adding materials to your real course. So the first thing that you want to do, let's go ahead and start adding some materials. So click on the little drop down, add materials, and let's add a folder. So click on add materials and click add folder. And you can title it whatever you want to title it. Remember, when you're doing your real course though, we're wanting to stay uniform and organized. So I titled my folder hello. You can change the color of your folder. Let's make this one pink. You can even add a description in the box below. And you can have dates. You can put dates in that you want this folder to be available, or you can just leave it blank and it's always there. You can choose to publish it or unpublish it, or not publish it to the students until a certain day. So I'm going to publish mine now and I'm going to create it. And it will show up on the bottom of my page. So say I've got this out of order and I really wanted to put this folder up here between Unit 1 and Unit 2. A great feature on Schoology is that you can grab this folder, click it, drag it, and drop it to wherever you want it. So that helps you to keep your materials organized like we talked about earlier. You can drag and drop anything. You can reorganize it on your home screen here. Or if I have, say I have this link to this YouTube video and I don't want it just hanging out down here on the bottom of the feed, so I can take this and drag it and drop it into my folder. You just hover it on top of it and it drops it in. See, it shows that it's in there. Was it? No, it wasn't. There it goes. I had to pull it up here. So now it's in my folder. Drag materials and drop it wherever you want it so that you stay organized. I'm going to put this back down here on the bottom. So we've created a folder. We know how to do that. You can always go in and edit anything you create with these little gears out to the side. So say I really don't like the name of this folder, that's just dumb, so I'm going to go over here and click on my gear and I'm going to say edit it. So I can change the name here to whatever you want it to be, change the description, change the dates, the publication, anything, and then you save it. So anything that you do can be undone or redone. So just keep that in mind. You can reorder anything. And also, if you don't want to just create something that's floating down here in the bottom, if you scroll over slowly, you can see these little green arrows with the dotted line. So that means that you can add materials in that spot. So say I wanted to add a material right here in this exact spot. I hover until I get the green arrow and I click the plus sign, and then I can add anything here. I can add a folder here, an assessment, a page, or anything. So I would add it. And it would show up right where I told it to go. You can still drag it and drop it if you wanted to move it somewhere else. But just keep in mind, you can add things in a particular place, or you can drag and drop wherever you want it. So go ahead and pause my video and add a couple of folders onto your Sandbox course. So next, I would like to show you how to create this welcome message or this page that can stay on your course feed, or this one can stay here, or you can create other pages that are down here further into your course. But let me show you how to create this page. I love the idea of having a static page here where either the message stays the same or you change it daily or weekly to give updates to your students. So let's show you how to make this. All you do is you go down here and you say, or up here, and you click on Add Materials, and this is a page. So I'm going to add page. And as you see, it is a blank page. But you will create it yourself, and you have all these rich text editors to help you make it look how you want it to look. So we're going to title this page Welcome. So go ahead and pause the video as needed and follow along at your pace and create a page. This will be very helpful for you. So go ahead and let's create a page and title it, and we're going to start putting content in here. So I'm going to start typing. I'm going to say welcome back. And I'm going to say check here for your work. I can't type. Check here for your work. So I have my text here. You can have it say whatever you want, and you can edit it as needed. So this looks kind of plain. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my welcome back. And I want it to be a heading. So let me do a heading 1. And I want it to be a different color. So we're going to go right here, choose a color. Let's make it this color. And I'm going to say check here for your work. Let's make this a little bit bigger and a different color. So you can make your text larger, different colors, make it stand out so that students actually, it catches their eye. And say I don't want it all over here left justified, so I'm going to select this text and I'm going to center it so that it'll be in the center of my message. And I want to add a graphic so that there's a picture here. So let me go here to insert content. This button right here is where you will add pictures and links or things from your OneDrive or Google Drive or YouTube. So you can add YouTube content from here, or if you go to YouTube directly and copy the link, you can add the link from here. So I'm going to add an image. So what I did is I clicked here to insert content onto my page, and I'm going to add an image. Did I say video? I want to add an image. Okay. I'm going to attach the file. And I'm going to find one I already have on my computer. I'm going to say, hey, let's look right here for our information every day. So this is what it looks like. And you can click on the picture and you can resize it. You can resize it here, or you can click here and change the dimensions and it would resize it that way, but you have to click update. So you can resize it larger or smaller by dragging the corners in or by changing the dimensions on this little tool right here. And make sure that I have this in the center too. And let's see, okay, what's this? Okay, so you can assign this individually. So if you click here, you can individually assign it to only certain students. But I don't want to do that. I want everyone to see it, so I'm going to leave it how it is. I can publish it to students. If it's a green dot, it's published. If it's not green is not published. And I want to make sure that I publish it. And right here, this display on new page, it will just have like a little link for it on your page, on your classroom feed. But if you click this ABC button right here and you say display inline, then it will show your page, the full page, when they click on your classroom. So if you want them to be able to see it and see what it says automatically when they click on your course, then make sure that you click on display inline. Now, if this was an assignment and you wanted to align it with a standard, you would click this button here, align. And this is for you to keep up with the standards taught. And you would find it, Common Core, state standards. They have the Alabama standards here, the course of study. They even have the new math standards. So this is where, if you wanted to, you could attach the standard. Let's show you what it looks like. Let's just pick one. All right, we're going to attach this one and we're going to add it. So we've got our page created. We've made it look a little bit more appealing. We've added a graphic and we've aligned it with the standard, and we've made sure that we're going to display it inline so that the full page shows up when the student enters into our course. So now we're going to create it, and it's going to show up down here on the bottom. So this is our page that we just made, and we showed it and we asked it to stay in line, so this is what it will look like. So what we can do, if we don't want this on the bottom, let's take it and drag it and drop it up here on the top. So we've got two pages here. So you can drag it and drop it. And let me just show you what happens if you don't click that display inline. So let's edit here on our little gear. And we're going to say don't display inline. And then it just looks like this. So the student will have to actually click on it to view it. But I want it to be visible when they click on my course. So I'm going to make sure I go back and edit it and display it inline here and save my changes. So that is a great way to add visible or visible appealingness, whatever you want to call it, visuals, or easy ways for students to find out what you're going to be doing today or this week, is to create a page and have it there the first thing that they see when they log into the classroom. That way they're not having to go through folders and say, am I on Unit 1 today, or looking for a date. A great way to make sure that students know what you want them to do is to add materials, add a page, and display it inline so that your message is the first thing that they see when they log into your classroom. So next, let's look at discussions. So you add a discussion. Discussions are a great way for kids to communicate with you, show you what they know, communicate with others in the classroom when we're having online or blended instruction. So let's add materials here, and we're going to add a discussion. So say we just finished a lesson, and you want to see if the students understand the lesson. So you go in and you create a discussion. You can title it whatever you want, and you can put the description here and type out the assignment, what you want them to discuss with you and discuss with others. Tell me about it. And you can instruct them here to respond to other students. Okay, so here you can add a due date. And this is where, when you add due dates, we talked about the dashboard or the home screen, classroom screen that the students see. On the right-hand side of their screen, they'll have upcoming events or due dates or overdue materials. So when you add a due date, those show up on that feed over there, and it helps to keep them organized. So let's just say that this one is going to be due on July 18th. And here I can add a grade. I can enable grading. If I want them to complete this for a grade, and then I can say, oh, it's going to be worth 10 points. And this is where you have to put a category in. And I already have my grade book set up. I have classwork and quizzes as my categories. If you don't have a category already set up, you can create a new one here and it'll show up. Or I'm going to show you guys later how to set up your grade books. So once you set up a grade book, these categories will already be there. So for now, you can just go ahead and create a new category. I'm going to just call it discussions. And I'm going to leave these the same because I have a numeric scale. And here you can either assign it individually to one student. You can also mark if other members can see other responses before they post their discussion. So if some students are kind of shy about putting their information or their opinions out there, and they want to see what other people say first, if you don't want them to do that, then you would have to uncheck this so that you would require them to post their discussion response before they can see others and respond. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let them go ahead and see it. And I can create it. And the great thing is here, whatever you create in one course, say you have multiple courses that you're teaching, you can copy it to all your courses here, so you don't have to keep recreating them. And we're going to go over that later. So let's go ahead and create this discussion, and this is where'd it go? Right here on the bottom. So this is what they will see. Tell me about it, and it has the due date. And if you go over here, it's also on their upcoming events. So that helps them to stay organized, to see what they have to do to turn in this week or in the near future. So far we have created a course, we've created a page here, we've created folders, and we've created a discussion. So next we're going to create or add an assignment. So I'm going back up here to add materials, and I'm going to say add assignment. Next you will fill out the create assignment form. This is your assignment. Right now it's blank. We had to fill it out. So I'm going to title our assignment Beowulf. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to build the assignment. First, I'm going to say, watch the video. And then this is where I can go in and link to YouTube videos, or if you have some already on your computer. So you go over here to this Insert Content tool, and I'm going to link a YouTube video from here. I'm going to make sure that I choose a video that I've already watched in its entirety to make sure that it is appropriate. You will click it and then you will import. And I'm going to choose to import it as embedded into the assignment. So now I have my first instruction. It says watch the video. Then I'm going to come down here under the video and I'm going to say complete the assignment. And I probably already have an assignment created that I would like to attach. This is where you can go and attach from your Google Drive assignments. You can do that here. If you have any of your apps installed, they'll show up here. You can do that here from the insert content. You can attach material that you've already created from your OneDrive or your Google Drive. You can do that here the same way that we embedded the YouTube video. So if you have if you have assignments already in those drives, then this is where you insert those into an assignment. So you create an assignment and you go to Insert Content and you go to your OneDrive or your Google Drive. Once you click on them, if you haven't used them yet, it's going to ask you to log in again with your OneDrive or your Google account. So it'll just bring up a login screen and you'll log in and then it'll give you access. So let me show you. Let's do my OneDrive. So here's my OneDrive since I've already logged into it, and it has my folders. So if you want to import an assignment that you've already created and it's in your OneDrive, you click the OneDrive, you click on it here, and then you click import. And it'll bring it up. I'll show you. Import as a link. And it'll bring up the link to that. Well, this is just a picture, but it'll bring up the link here. I don't really want to use that one. I want to use a different one that's just on my computer and not in my drive. So I'm going to attach a file from my computer, and I will do that right here. So you can attach files or links. So anything that you do that you attach down here will show up on the bottom of your assignment, but anything that you attach to your assignment from insert content will be embedded into the assignment. That's really the only difference. It basically has the same function. So I'm going to attach my file from my computer, Beowulf assignment here, and open. So it shows up here. And then I'm going to set a due date. Let's say that it's going to be due this day, and it's going to be worth 50 points. We have to assign a category, and you have to select a grading period. We're going to stay in our sandbox grading period since it's not an actual term yet. And I'm still going to use a numeric grading scale. And this is where you can also align those standards like I showed you earlier. Here's some more options on the bottom. You can choose to individually assign it to one student, or if you don't, it just goes to the entire class. You can lock it out if you want. Say it's already overdue and you don't want anyone to submit it anymore. You can lock out the assignment where they can still see it, but they can't submit it. You can allow submissions. You can publish it or unpublish it. And you can copy it to other courses if you want it to be available there. So I'm going to go ahead and create this. And I noticed when I created it, I didn't put it in any folder to begin with initially. So it's just going to be floating down here at the bottom of my class feed at the very bottom. So any new material that you create and you don't choose a specific location for it to go, it's always going to show up at the bottom. But we talked about you can drag and drop it wherever you want. So I'm going to take this assignment, click on it, and drag it up into my Unit 1. So now that assignment that I just created is in my Unit 1. And since I added a due date to the assignment, it'll show up on the right side menu over here under Upcoming. And shows the student that they have an assignment that's due in the near future. So students are responsible for submitting their own work. So we just need to make sure that they know that they have to complete an assignment and they have to click to submit it before it goes back to the teacher to view and to grade. In our next video, we'll go over how to create assessments or quizzes. I will also go over how to grade these assignments that we just created. So we'll go over how to grade assignments, how to set up quizzes and assessments, how to set up a grade book, because we'll also need to do that. So in our next video, we'll go over gradebook setup as well. And also in our next video, we will go over this resource tab, because there's lots of ways that teachers can use resources that are already available, and there's lots of ways that are benefits to sharing resources among each other, among teachers. So be on the lookout for our next video. Hopefully this video has introduced you to Schoology. Hopefully you have been able to log into your account and play around in the sandbox course. So feel free to use this video as needed, and be on the lookout for our next video where I will go over all those other things that we did not cover today.